Congratulations.
You just got yourself 2 weeks detention, Mr. Miller.
What? But I didn't do anything! I didn't do anything!
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is Dragothien here, and today I want to do a little bit of a response to Chisgule's video about me being in jail. Skywalker also did one as well to kind of give the 916 Kingdom point of view. Being the one that it's about, I figured I'd go ahead and put a video out really quick as well. Still in the throes of taking care of brand new baby, so this will be a very quick and easy video for me to put together and explain some things to everybody and maybe get some more clear understanding of the rules that I broke and the rules that led me to be in jail in 916 and the timing. We'll talk about all that. So let's jump into it and let's go over what all this stuff means. All right, so in front of you, we have the consequences of our MGE, fixed MGE, I should say, rule breakers. And we have a few things that go through, and we have caps for each phase of MGE. This is pretty common across most kingdoms, especially kingdoms that are really, really heavy into KVK and things like that, or especially Ark of Osiris, because you want to have those commanders go to players that are going to be able to use them. And then, of course, there's people who earn the right based off of performance in KVK, regardless of power and spending and all that stuff. They have the ability to go ahead and max one of these top-level commanders. We're going to know that those players are going to be there when the fighting happens, and they'll be rewarded with a placement spot, too, in those cases. But in this situation here, we have our breakdown of overall score, and then we have a top 15 placement cap on the spots. Each spot has their own little point system. So overall score here capped at 15 million points for those not in the top 15. So again, that means day 1 to day 6, you can't get more than 15 million points, or you've broken the cap, or you've broken the cap for the whole MGE. But then also each phase. So kill event, you have a maximum of 3 million kill points. That's day 5. Final sprint, which is basically a lowered total of points that you receive for all the different activities during MGE, also capped at 3 million points. Top 15 ranked players are allowed to break the kill event and final sprint points if there's a need to fix their ranks, assuming, you know, again, there's a rogue player or somebody like myself made a mistake, you know, stuff like that. So they are allowed to fix their ranks so that nothing happens at the end of the day. They're still good to go. There are consequences for breaking rules in Kingdom 916, which is, again, the kingdom that I'm in. I helped start this kingdom with a group of players that I've been playing with for years in this game, and we've always kind of had the same rule of thumb, and that's that nobody is above, you know, what we do. Like, we have these rules for a reason, and of course there are players that, you know, honestly make a mistake, and, you know, we take that into account for the most part. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. I've sent players who have broken the rule by like this consequences section here says 1 point. I mean, it's been very, very small amount of points, and it didn't affect anything, and they were still sent to the jail because that is the rules. We need people to follow the rules, and if it's a mistake, honest or otherwise, it's still a mistake and it does need to be punished. So for me, what happened with me in my situation, let's talk about that. So on, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I can't remember which one it was, I was putting together the video for the Rage video that I put out last week. And yeah, so I was doing battles with other players, trying to get reports to go off of to give you the information that you guys needed. And I did that, and I was paying attention to my kill score, and I was under the kill cap, or kill point cap, no problems. I was paying attention, and then I thought of 2 or 3 other different scenarios that might help with the video, or it was something to the effect of I have some other questions that I was getting from the stats and stuff that I was getting from the reports. So I had another guy come by in Discord. He was like, "Hey, happy to help you. What do we need to do?" So I told him to bring out what he needed to bring out. We did it. I completely forgot that I was already kind of near the kill point cap. So I went over by, I don't even know. It was like 1 million points. It wasn't 1 point. It was over by like 1 million points because, again, I wasn't paying attention to it. And yeah, so I did it. Now, did my score affect anything when it came to getting sculptures? No, I wasn't in the top 50, so I had no impact on sculptures whatsoever. even going over on the kill event, because I didn't train. I didn't do any powering up on power up day. It was literally the only points I really got were on that kill event day that I was doing the testing for the video. So did my points affect anything in the MGE? No, it didn't. However, again, I broke the rule. So with that being said, I needed to go to jail. And the way the kingdom works here, again, you immediately lose your alliance for a week. So on that Saturday, I broke the rule. So I left T2A and I went over to the jail alliance. And then the second piece here, donate 100 million of each resource type to the Kingdom Bank, which is exactly what I did. And now I've been sitting here waiting for my week to be up, which tomorrow my week is up. And I think maybe to address some points that Chisgule brought up when it comes to should I follow my own rules. I mean, I think that's kind of what it boils down to, which I think that's a pretty easy answer to that. And question is yes, or the answer is yes. But some of the things that he brought up, maybe to talk about some of those things. So I'm a heavy spender, but I'm not Baba. Okay, I'm not Mad Phantom. I'm not some of these other guys that pump out 10 gold chests a day or 12 gold chests a day or whatever. That's not me. That's not this guy. Okay. I might put out 6 gold chests a week, if that depends on the week, right? Like if it's an event week and Call the Ancients week, then yeah, I may do that. But I'm not pumping out 30 gold chests that people are going to be missing in a 1 week period. So that to me, it shouldn't even really be in the conversation. The rules are the rules, and me being the king of the kingdom for the majority of the time, we've had a lot of people take over leadership of 916 just to help out with all the things that I've got going on in life and in other phases of the game. So, that I don't personally feel like I'm above any of the rules that, quite frankly, I've made for the kingdom. I mean, these are rules that I helped set up. It makes no sense for me to be like, okay, I know I helped set these rules up. I'm kind of a big deal in the kingdom, so I'm just going to ignore them. It's better for you all. It's better for you all. No, of course not. Of course not. That's not how, life works. That's not how that's not the culture of the kingdom that we're in. So, I've had people who are heavy fighting players in this game that came to 916 to fight. They broke the rule. We told them what they had to do because they broke the rule, and they migrated out. And lost for the kingdom? Sure. I mean, I would have loved to have had that fighter on the front line with me fighting in 916 in that last KBK we were in. But if you're not a good fit, that's to me, that's not a good fit. If you can't understand why, especially a high profile player like myself or like somebody else in the kingdom that's a heavy fighter that's got 3 billion kill points, that's got 20 million dead, that's got all the top tier commanders and great gear and blah blah blah, and are heavy contributors to the kingdom from a fighting perspective. If you can't understand that, not only should you follow the rules, but you especially should follow the rules because the eyes are on you. Like, you are setting the tone for the entire kingdom on how this thing works and how questionable the leadership team is. If I was to have broken this rule and I was like, you know what, guys, it's KBK. You know how hard this is going to be for me? Like, it's going to be super hard for me. Like, and it was an accident. It was an accident. I swear I didn't do it. I didn't do anything.
Congratulations.
You just got yourself 2 weeks detention, Mr. Miller.
What? But I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
I promise, like, it wasn't my fault. It was, something happened. I couldn't personally get away with that for myself. I couldn't have possibly tried to do that. But even if I did, like, what kind of message would that have sent not only the players that are currently in this kingdom that, hey, as long as you're kind of a, part of the main clique of the leadership, or if you're part of the big guy crew or whatever inside of the kingdom, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Or especially for people who want to migrate here and have a great atmosphere and a great KBK experience, fighting wise, right? Like, who wants to come to a kingdom where the rules just don't apply to people at will? Like, it's just, you 50 million player who went over by 300,000 points on your kill event, you have to pay 400 million resources because you're inconsequential and you don't do any fighting. But this guy over here has got 100 million power and 2 billion kill points, and he does some things with some spending, you don't have to do it because you're contributing in other ways. We can't have that. That's just not how this kingdom is run. Certainly not how this kingdom is run. I'm sure there are kingdoms out there that do that, and they're like, okay, well, I know you made a mistake, and there was some extenuating circumstances, and you can go ahead and just pay the bill, but you don't have to be out of the alliance for the week, or you just have to be out of the alliance for a week, but you don't have to pay the bill, or there's always like a shaving of a consequence, and we've never done that. We've just never done that here, because as soon as you do that, you weaken the entire system. You weaken the entire thing. And for me to be able to be in the situation, obviously not on purpose, I don't want to be out of the alliance for a week, because I needed to be in there doing bastions every day. I needed to be doing getting helps every day for my crystal tech. I need to be just not having to worry about the minutia and the logistics of going back and forth between an alliance to do things, because in our system, it's not listed here because this wasn't really done for KBK purposes, but when KBK is going with Kingdom 916, you are able, if you're in jail, you do kind of get a pardon for one part of each day to join a main alliance, do your bastion quests, and then go back to jail. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to make clear, that part of it, the bastion part of it, I'm not behind. I've gotten 2 full days worth of bastions under my belt. Today's the 3rd day that I will be going ahead and completing that. I haven't done it yet because I've been busy with the baby, but I will do it before we go ahead and wrap up today's reset. And I'm not losing anything on that regards. What am I losing though? And this is the whole point of the consequences. So I'm losing all the helps that I'm not getting every single time I'm online while I'm in the jail alliance for crystal tech and things like that. I've already lost a ton of helps for building the 2 buildings inside of and upgrading those 2 buildings inside of KBK. Also, obviously, if you're in a major alliance, there are spenders in that alliance. You're losing the chests that they get when they purchase things, all the way and up to and including gold chests. Also, when people are doing forts, when people are doing purchasing, you do get the alliance chests that proc every time you fill the meter up. That I'm losing that as well. And then of course, again, I'm losing a little bit of the being inside of what's going on. I'm literally inside of the jail alliance right now, and there is, let's see, 3 people in here, and one of them is me as well. So I have my alt account leading the alliance, and then I've got my main here, another player who did the exact same thing I did, just got sidetracked with what he was doing and didn't know that he was over, and then this 20,000 player who just wanted to come in here and have some fun. So that's all I've got. I don't have anybody helping. I don't have anybody doing anything. I'm losing a ton of stuff. I'm not getting any helps with anything. I'm not getting any, there's no chests here. Like there's no gifts coming my way or anything. So I've got nothing. No tech, by the way, either for killing barbarians. If I'm killing barbarians, which I have done a few of for bastion quests, which I did inside of the major alliance, but you catch my drift. Like I can't just go out and kill KBK barbarians right now because I'll get wrecked. I don't have any tech whatsoever when it comes to like we have nothing. Territory Guardian, nothing. I have none of it. This is a bare bones alliance with nothing to give, and that's the point. This is supposed to be a consequence for breaking the MGE rules. And when we first started this setup, it wasn't even when we had a fixed MGE. This was just to get people to understand that they had to stop going ham on kill event and wasting their resources by fighting each other nonstop to get a high score in kill event and ultimately try and win MGE. That's the only reason we started it in the first place. And then of course that extended into once we decided to go to a fixed MGE model in 916, then we went ahead and same rules apply. It's more comprehensive across the whole MGE platform. So I don't think there was anything else that I really needed to address that Chisgule had said. I get where he's coming from. I really do when it comes to, is there a higher value of me being in an alliance that is populated by other players that can benefit from my activity, and whether that activity is being active in the game sending forts or being active in the game spending money or whatever. I think ultimately, and I don't really think, I know ultimately the better part of all this is that I'm accountable for my own rule in the kingdom that I helped set up. And this way, not only this is something that I would have done anyway, but not only is this just the right thing to do, but it sets the tone for everybody else in the kingdom. Look, even Drago went to jail when he messed up. He paid his fine. He did his time in KB. I mean, this is probably the worst case scenario, right? First week of KBK, pre-KBK was happening. First week of KBK, you need to get your bastions done. You got all these things done. And I'm sitting here in jail, just popping in to get my bastions done to a normal alliance and then coming out. So if I can do it, and if I'm owned up to what I did, even though it had no impact on MG whatsoever, and again, it was an honest mistake. It was no intention. I've never had an intention of trying to bully an MGE from anyone in this kingdom through kill event. That's not something I've ever done. So that's not what this was. This was a normal everyday thing. Like, I didn't know this was going to be a thing. At the end of the day, I didn't know this was even going to be a thing. I was going to go to jail, do my time, and then come back, and we were going to be streaming. I mean, I streamed while I was in jail. I didn't think that was that big of a deal, but the more people heard about what happened, I guess people were kind of curious or insightful about it, and kind of relating it to their own experience in their own kingdom. Some people messaged me saying, "Hey, you need to get out. You know, the hashtag free Dragothien, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, dude, I don't see the reason. I don't see the point in letting me out early. There's no reason. I've sent people to this very spot for far less, for far less points than I overdid. And they were, you know, just as important as me, or, you know, just, you know, even smaller players. Like, they all have the same rules. Everybody's got the same rule in this kingdom. So, I mean, that's all I've got. I don't know. I know I just ranted for basically 15 minutes, but, you know, that's all I've got. That's all I've got on this. I didn't think this was going to be such a big deal. But I guess, you know, again, some people, it resonated with them, with how their own kingdom is run. And if, you know, the leadership team there is as stringent on the rules as we are here in 916, or again, should there be some kind of adjustment in the future? I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you. Not only from I don't really think it matters ultimately one way or the other whether a heavy spender in the kingdom is in an alliance that's populated by people or not. Like, is that a game breaker? I personally don't think so. Of course, it would have helped those players to get those gold chests or whatever. But again, I might put out 6 gold chests in a week. Like, that might be something that would happen. Maybe. Usually it's 3 every 2 weeks at a minimum, but maybe 3 a week, depending on events and things like that. And if I need to get some gems for the kingdom, or if I need to get some gems for VIP shop or whatever, Wheel of Fortune for you guys, because ultimately I've got most of these commanders maxed out for myself personally already as far as fighting is concerned. So I personally don't think there's any adjustments that are needed, not only because I think this is fair, but also because it would kind of tarnish what everybody that had broken the rules beforehand went through, and it would kind of cheapen what we've already done. And we've done this from the beginning of the kingdom, which was, again, quite a long time ago. So to me, it would make no sense to cheapen the existing rules, or lessen the existing rules, or make an adjustment to the existing rules when, more often than not, at least 50% of the people that go to jail in Kingdom 916 were mistakes. It was a mistake, an honest mistake. It was hey, I was doing this, I got tied up with this. Hey, I left my army out and somebody came by and hit it. Hey, this, that, or the other, right? The only time that I've seen people where we've made an exception is they have a farming report and somebody came by and wiped out all their farms and swarmed their city. And this was, again, a player that was in like 12 million, 15 million, 20 million range, and they lost all their troops. And somebody came and swarmed their city, and they went over kill points because they, naturally killed some of the stuff that was hitting their city or what have you. So those were not sent to jail. So, I mean, when it comes to is there extenuating circumstances? Yes, there is. But it's got to be an extreme circumstance like that. Not like, hey, I'm Dragothien, guys, I made a video and I went over. So give me an exception. No, that wasn't even in my vernacular. Like I literally told Sky as soon as I saw that I did it, I was like, so guess I'm going to jail for a week. I'll be in there in a minute. So that's it. That's all I've got. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. And again, guys, I'm getting back into the swing of things. We're back home from the hospital. Baby and mama are healthy. Dad is tired, as I'm sure you can tell. I've got to get a little bit of rest, but other than that, I do plan on streaming a little bit more, ramping it back up as the baby gets into her routine, as Mama gets into her routine now that she's off from work for a little while, taking care of the baby, taking care of everything in the house, and I'll be helping obviously do all those things as well. So I'm going to be incorporating my new schedule in with everything that's going on now too. So I'm looking forward to getting that back into action with you all. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers, have a good one, and take care.